The most engaging, impactful, informative, and entertaining talk show ever. Get ready to hear the voices of many local, state, and national artists, musicians, comedians, pastors, athletes, and politicians. It's time for South Florida Live with Jeffrey Brown.
All right. Hey, y'all. Good evening once again. Hey, we are here. Sorry for the lateness. Sorry for the delay. We got caught up in the other episode. But hey, we are here. We are the South Florida Live Podcast. I'm your host, Jeffrey Brown. And y'all, good evening to everyone. Once again, happy Juneteenth to everyone. Happy Juneteenth to everyone. Happy Juneteenth to everyone. I hope everyone experienced peace and blessings on today. Happy Juneteenth. If you were at work, if you were off, those that were off, listen, I hope you enjoyed your day. You had a great day on today. So God bless you for joining us. Come on in. Yeah, we got to stay woke, y'all. It's a lot going on. These ladies are ready. I'm not going to delay. Hey, listen, but I do want to do this. I want to do this before we go any further. I want to do this. I told them I would. Hey, listen, Sincere, one of our local groups, South Florida Live, South Florida owned, Sincere. Hey, they're coming out with their single. They're coming out with their single pretty soon. And we want to be a blessing to them. We want to go and get that single and help them in any way. And this is yes, that's Sincere. And the single title is That's God, La La La. That's God, La La La. I'll feel that groove right there. That's serious. That's just listen, that's all tough. So let's do that, guys. Let's do that. Let's help them. Let's support them in their endeavors on that project coming out in a couple of days. June 21st. It will be out. Listen, I think the ladies are here. They are ready. They got a lot to talk about on today. Yeah, they have a lot to talk about. I know one lady, TaNika, and Miss Jackson, they full, they overflowing with knowledge on today. So I'm not gonna hold them. I'm not gonna keep them. I'm not gonna make this thing go along. Hey, listen. So you join us. Say good evening to us. Thank you for joining us. Here is the one and only. She's gonna. She hopes she's gonna be nice to me. I'm feeling a little under the weather. I hope she's gonna be nice to me tonight. She was real mean to me. She normally is rough to me. She really treats me so bad. I love her, y'all. I love her. Oh, she heard us. It's the Right Reverend Dr. Joy Jackson. Hey, good evening.
And you had me waiting. I almost hung up.
No, you weren't gonna do that. You weren't gonna do that. You know that. I know this Juneteenth. I know this Juneteenth day, but I'm working like a true slave today. Master didn't let me off for one, and then I'm doing this. So yeah,
back to back. That's true.
So be nice, and I'm battling.
I'm always nice. I'm always nice. I'm one of the nicest people you would meet in your lifetime. That's me. But on the other hand, you had me waiting.
But it was worth it.
How you did
that? It's worth it, girl.
You are funny.
It's worth it, girl.
You are funny.
I'm doing all right. I'm just battling this little cold. I'm gonna fight it. I'm gonna be all right. I can't get a cold. I got so much to do. I got a convention to go to this weekend, and next week I got a speaking engagement. So I can't have this.
You better get your rest. Drink some vitamin C.
Yeah, I've been doing that.
And,
I've been doing that. I've been doing that. And stay away from nasty people.
and what you need to do is get you some rest.
Well, there's no rest for the weary right now.
Well, you know, rest is the best medicine you can take.
I know it is, but I can't get it right now.
Oh, well, you're going to keep doing what you're doing.
I have to press on. I got your prayer, so I know I got your prayer, so I know I'm gonna be all right. I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna be all right. The prayers of the righteous. I shout out both.
You know what? You need to stop. But the Bible say they availeth much.
Oh, they do. See, that's the shout right there. That's the shout. We missed that shout right there. Hey, we got our sister.
Hey,
TaNika, what's up?
you know, I don't like being put on hold all day and night like I'm in Vogue.
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you.
Seventh grade in Vogue made the song.
I'm gonna tell you like I told. I'm gonna tell you like I told. It's worth the wait. It's worth.
No. We don't know about all that. We don't know.
He probably been talking with the governor. He probably been talking with the governor making up them stupid laws.
Now you know that ain't the case.
Just look at you. It's Juneteenth. Just look at you.
You know that ain't the case. Hey,
well, I'll tell you what. I hope you had some watermelon. I hope you had some strawberry lemonade.
I ain't have a fried chicken. I ain't had no fried chicken today. I ain't had no fried chicken.
Part of Juneteenth. I learned about the strawberry lemonade today. Apparently, when slaves would have the opportunity to gather and celebrate whatever, they drank strawberry lemonade. So we do that on Juneteenth to commemorate. All
right, when I get off the podcast, I'm going to get me some strawberry lemonade.
We're going to Publix. Publix got a good one out.
Oh yeah, that strawberry pineapple?
Yeah.
Woo, heavily. They can't keep it on the shelf though.
Yeah.
They can't keep it on the shelf. They can't
keep it early in the morning when the doors open.
Yeah, they can't keep it on the shelf. Listen, it was about 4 months ago, 3 months, about 3 months ago. I went and a friend of mine's in another part of town. Man, listen, I had like 10. I had like 10 of them. I just loaded up. And of course, they all gone now. But the one by me, they normally keep it in the store. Hey, last year, this time last year, it was just me and Pastor Jackson last year.
Why? What was that?
I don't know where you were last year.
I wasn't invited. See, there you go.
I don't know if you was part of the thing.
Something came up on my Facebook.
Yeah.
A memory of me being there with
you. Yeah, because we talked about we won't go back.
And again, I wasn't invited.
But no, I think you'd upper echelon, so you be somewhere all everywhere. So you probably couldn't participate.
I might have. I'm gonna let you.
No, might have. No,
might have had that one. I might have been preoccupied.
Might have? No, yeah. I'm sure you were. All right, let's jump into it. Y'all governor, let's start with your governor first. So I know y'all ratting and raving about him. One, about this so-called raise.
That is not a raise. That's not even a tip.
And I researched it.
You know what? I'm going to reserve my comments until I speak with my teacher union and get some numbers for you. Because I know that in a matter of days, if not hours, we're going to release something that lets us know exactly what Miami-Dade County will receive from the so-called raise. I'm sure it'll be just as deplorable as it was when we spoke about the $240 million for 67 counties in the whole state. So if he put $10 more with it, that would equate to about 2 pennies for Miami-Dade County. So, but I'm going to reserve my comment on that until I get the numbers. I like to deal with numbers and facts.
Well, I saw something where it said it equal out to like another $100 or $100 and something that y'all get. I'm like, really, dude? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that's what it says. It says that we'll get about no more than $200.
$200, yeah.
It's no more than that.
After inflation, that come out to about $59.99, and the type of gas I put in my car, that's gone. And that's only one gas trip. Chaba.
Well, see, the thing is, the $1 billion that he said that he has sent into schools, teachers are not getting it. So that money is being dispersed so many diverse ways. And then you have your charter and private schools that's getting, whatever. So it doesn't come to no more than $200 a check.
And by the way, Dr. Joy, that's state law. We want everybody to know that. Each county is responsible for giving charter and private a certain amount of whatever revenue they have for education. That's state law. So it's not just a Miami thing or Broward thing. It's state law.
Right.
And the
Hey,
governor made it that way so that him and his cronies who make money off of charter and private schools could continue to get paid.
hold on, ladies. Hold on for a minute. T, I'm gonna make you work tonight, okay? Because we're getting a feedback from your end. So when you're not talking, if you can just mute yourself, that way you won't say I'm muting you.
Okay.
Just mute, and then when you talk, then unmute.
Okay.
Because we're getting a feedback from your end. But no, you can unmute now. I'm just saying before you talk, mute. But when you get ready to talk, unmute.
How can she mute before she talk?
You know what?
She has to unmute when she getting ready to talk.
Well, when she get ready to talk, then she unmute. But before she
I'm in a room.
she needed to
I'm in a room by myself. I don't know why you getting feedback.
You know what?
Did you
I'm
get
not
brain
doing that.
damage from the
I
flood
tell you
last
what,
week?
this
He
this
got
what I'm
brain
gonna
damage from
do.
the flood last
This
week,
what
and
I'm
now I
gonna
gotta
do.
mute every time I
This
talk.
this what I'm gonna
What is
do.
going
This what I'm
on?
gonna do. This
I
what
don't
I'm
do
gonna
that at
do.
7 o'clock. I didn't see
This what I'm
anybody
gonna
music
do.
staying on at 7 o'clock. I'm just
Let me tell y'all what I'm gonna do. This what I'm gonna do. How about I do?
Paid for this.
This what I'm gonna do. How about I?
Oh God, what did he do? He took himself off.
Yeah, he's showing that child. Took himself out. We can run it.
Bye.
Run it. I don't
How
know
about I
why he
do that?
thinks.
That's what y'all want anyway. That's what y'all want anyway.
No, we love you,
That's
Elder.
what
We
y'all
love you,
want
Elder.
anyway. I'm gone, man. I'm gone. I'm
No,
out of
he
here.
ain't gotta go nowhere. See how he
Hey,
showed.
listen.
Look, this
So,
your show. This
All
your
I'm
show.
gonna say is that at 7 o'clock, the people on 7 o'clock they have to mute themselves every time they want to talk.
You know what? We
You
don't
know,
have to take this.
but it was only two of
We
us.
don't have to take
So
this.
that tell you something going on over on your side.
We don't have to take this, TaNika. I'm telling you.
You know what? Bye.
well, he excused himself. I like to record the show that the elder excused himself. Did nobody tell that man to leave? This his show. You see the little icon on the
That's a
top of your
shame. They
screen?
kicked me
That's
off.
his
They
show.
kicked me
Why
off
is
my
he leaving?
own show, y'all. They kicking me off my own show.
And he keeps coming back.
He like that. Cause he tired from the last show. He tired from the last show. He want to go have a piece of watermelon and some strawberry lemonade, and we're gonna let him do that. We're gonna carry on. And when he finished having his Juneteenth snack, he'll be back. That's all.
There he is. He's back again.
Look at him. He can't even stay away. Can't even stay away.
Oh my God. See you later. See you later, great Right Reverend Elder. See you.
But Dr. Joy, I got a question for you. A lot of people that I know are very upset with the homeowners association. Not association, I'm sorry, homeowner insurance issue.
Of course.
Right now. I know people that Citizens have dropped, citizen homeowner insurance. I know people who are upset about this new mandate for flooding, especially if their houses sit on an incline. What I'm trying to figure out is this: two things. One, we know last year there was a storm on the west coast of Florida, and from that storm and the devastation there, insurance rates went up. But now we're talking about a 14% insurance hike that everyone who is a homeowner is about to incur any minute now. And I'm trying to figure out, is this being done deliberately to push folks out of the state? Because if it is, he's doing a fine job and people
God knows.
He's doing a wonderful job if that's the objective. But if he's really trying, and we're talking about the governor, if he's really trying to help his constituents, because even his constituents aren't happy with this. Even his supporters are not happy with this 14% insurance hike. What I would like to know, what I would like for us to kind of discuss a little bit, because I know we have a mountain of things to discuss. What can we as constituents do to push back? Because it's almost as if the people who have something to say are not being heard, and those who have the governor's ear are telling him things that's not helping the masses. Like,
it will take a collective body of millions of people. And the reason why I say that is because look at what's happening to Dade County. Look what's happening in Broward. So I live in Dade, so I would talk about Dade. If you notice downtown, all of the high rises.
yeah.
If you look at I'm from Overtown for life.
OT, okay.
Oh yeah, for life. Yeah, I
Okay.
don't know if you understand, but I'm a for lifer. And I don't even recognize the neighborhood where I grew up in because they are just remodeling, and corporations are coming to Dade County to outprice the people that live here. So
Yes.
if you are not selling your property, then they're upping the insurance to help you to get out. And once you leave Dade County, you can't afford to come back. Forget it. If
Yeah.
you sell your property and move elsewhere, you sell your property for $500,000 to $600,000. Where are you going to go for the same price to get what you have or better than what you have? So
Not
what
people.
they are doing, and this is strategically being done, to outprice, to force folk to leave so that those that are rich will stay rich and those that are poor will stay poor. And that they want people, they're saying they don't want people to be under the government control. But look at what they are doing. And when they outprice you, where can you go? So the people that are in subsidized housing, Section 8, projects, whatever, you are going to be indebted to the government. And then when they get tired of that, then they will put you out. Now, what the government is doing is that these corporations are buying these areas. You have areas of housing that's no one staying there but Section 8. The whole community is Section 8. Now, I want you to hear this. These corporations that's buying that are paying the government for the subsidy for these people to live. And when the government gets sick of you, then the government puts you out. So what happens is they outprice you. And if they can't outprice you, then they're going to up the insurance. And people who can afford another increase of anything, we can't afford another increase. And this is what's happening. Now, insurance, now they're saying that smaller insurance companies are supposed to be coming into play in the picture, but smaller insurance companies cannot afford the pricing. So what do? If we don't band together, come together, join together in masses to say enough is enough. And this is what it's going to take. It's going to take enough people, black, white, Cuban, uh, Asian, Jamaican, Haitian, it doesn't matter, to come together and say enough is enough. Until we do that, they're going to keep doing what they're doing. Until we get out and vote, they're going to continue to do what they're doing. Until we say that, hey, I'm not taking this anymore, they're going to continue to do what they're doing. And the only thing we're doing is sitting in the corner complaining. It's time to stop complaining, and it's time to get up and do something.
I completely agree. I'm sorry, this whole thing with muting and not muting. Oh, okay. So what I was gonna say to you was that we should be looking to organizations, well-known organizations, to mobilize the people to really speak to this issue. Because as you said, even if someone sells their property right now, 400, $500,000, considering inflation in most of your major cities right now, even if they get the money, where are they going? Now let me tell you something.
I don't know.
I have a hefty bag here, and I feel like the governor is just
What
passing
kind
out
of bag
hefty
is that?
bag, hefty. They've been helping people
Oh,
move
a
since
garbage
the
bag.
70s. Yeah, they've been helping people move since the 70s. So basically, what they're doing is asking you to get a hefty bag, get your belongings, and get on about your business because they push you out of here. That's what they're doing. They push you out of here. So unless you want to put your belongings in some boxes and hefty bags, we're gonna have to do more than just speak to the issue. We're gonna have to really put our um put our collective power together and get these state legislators to do something, because a lot of them are up for re-election. So that's one. Two, with them being up for re-election, they have to speak to our issue. Like, for example, the flooding, Miami-Dade County. We went through that last week. We know that a couple months ago, Broward was so flooded they had to close schools. And then
Yep.
this time, Miami-Dade and Broward County both were uh, negatively impacted by the flooding from the rain. We
Wait,
live in
wait,
a
wait, wait. Let me
metropolitan.
ask you this. Why in 2024, with all the revenue that's coming through these counties, why is it that streets are still flooding like this?
That's a good
What?
question, Dr. Joy.
Why?
That's a good
Why is
question.
the drainage system the way that it is?
Why do we
And
have an
streets.
antiquated drainage system? One, and then two, you said where's the money? Let me speak to where is the money. Marco Rubio, state representative. I think he's a state representative. I don't know. He does something that annoy me, but he's a part of the state legislature. He created a deal some years ago during legislative session where we're called a donor county, which means that certain amounts of money that are made in Miami-Dade County leave Miami-Dade County to help smaller counties in the state. So that's where the money went. So let's start
Well,
there.
we are a donor county. That's no.
Right, right. And
Yeah.
that's not working for us anymore. With inflation, how can I help you? And I need help.
We can't.
Right.
It makes zero amount of sense to me with the amount of monies and the amount of tax dollars that are going to wherever it goes or supposed to be going. Why are streets in Dade and Broward County still flooding the way that they are flooding? Can somebody please answer that question if you don't mind? I don't know. I don't know. I don't
And
know.
that's why I say it's important that this election cycle, those who are running in our local government, like our mayor's running for reelection, like certain commissioners are running for reelection, we need to be asking them, what are you guys doing? What are you all achieving in your meetings that you have when most of the people are working? So the majority of the people don't have the ability to come to the commission meetings because you're holding them during working hours when working people can't be there to speak out. And then the people that do go and speak out, they come in and speak out for one issue that's just so like it's in crisis mode. So then we deal with that and then we keep pushing. But then things like this where if the sun is out, we're not thinking about it. But if we have enough rain, it's at the forefront of our thoughts. So now as we're beginning to dry up and we're beginning to the waters are receding now, we need to go back and say, look, we don't want to have another incident like that again because we hurricane season just started June 1st. Hurricane season just started June 1st. We have not actually
19,
had a
19,
named storm.
19 days ago, and you've already had 3 days of flooding.
Right. And imagine this. The first system has been named today and it's out there.
Yep.
And they're already saying that some aspect of that system that's out there is going to impede on our weather next week. We're not
Well,
prepared.
but
Now you
there's
can have all
another,
the water and snacks and light flashlights you want to in your house. But if the water's coming up to your knees, ain't none of that gonna help you.
and you know, and if your house is not prepared to handle that, I'm just grateful. I'm just grateful that maybe 6 months ago, last year, I put a new roof on my house. Had I
Praise
not put
God.
the roof on this house, part of my house would have been like some of those other homes, flooded. One of my rooms I know would have been flooded because the roofing over there was horrible. But what about these people that water is coming through the front door? I'm not talking about coming from the sky. I mean, the water is coming from the front door into their homes. These places, whereas there are gates that can be opened, that waters actually go back out to the ocean. These people that live on canals, that have these canals in their backyard, there are gates. When that water starts getting too high, they have to call 311 to let the people know, hey, could you please open these gates to let this water out because the water is coming too high in my backyard. Okay, that's one issue. Another issue, that these cars that got stuck, that low, that were very low to the ground, that could not be moved because the water wasn't going anywhere. And I'm not talking about the water the same day. Why is it that water was still in the street 2 days after the storm was over? Why wasn't that water out of the street? Why isn't the water being let out?
The drainage,
What's going on
in
with
many
our drainage system,
right.
TB? What's going on?
The drainage systems in many areas is a problem. I really, my heart went out to the lady who did not see the lake and the water was so high in her area, she drove into the lake.
Into the car, yeah.
And thank God, she is still with among the living, But for
Correct.
me, that was scary because I'm thinking that could have been anybody. That could have been you. That could have been me. That could have been anybody. I remember Elder told us that we weren't going to do the show last week because he was stuck. He couldn't even get home. And he had to just sit and wait until he found a route home where he wasn't driving through water that he couldn't navigate and it was starting to get dark outside. It's really an act of nature. I get it. I understand it. But as you said, in 2024, while we still having some primitive issues in a major metropolitan city, if we were rural, if we were 30 years behind everybody else, perhaps major metropolitan city, sky rises everywhere, inflation through the roof. We shouldn't be having these problems. And I think the best way to handle it, or the best way to combat this issue, will be to deal with the politicians who are up for election or re-election this season and put some pressure behind them and say, hey, you want this office, better do somebody, better come up with a plan.
But so many people have, people in their pockets. And when they're getting paid to do what they're doing. So what do you see? You see sky rises going up. You're going to see buildings in downtown that's going to be 30, 40, 50, 60 stories high. And this is what they're doing. These people that with these huge corporations, as the Chinese and Russians have gone to Jamaica, have gone to some of the Bahamas, and they're buying this stuff up. Don't tell me they are not coming and buying our land, buying our property so that they can make money. And then our politicians that's supposed to be speaking for us, that's supposed to be the ones that's our voice, they are not our voice. And until we put people in office that's going to be our voice, Marco Rubio is not our voice. He's trying to run for vice president. So he's not our voice. We need someone that's going to be our voice, someone that's going to not be for their own personal gain, but for the gain of the people. Now, until we get that,
bought and sold. Someone who can't be bought and sold.
Right. So until we get that, until we find those leaders that's for the people and not for their personal gain and not for their personal ego, because who we have up there now, whether we have them in Tallahassee or Washington, all of these people are not speaking on our behalf. We need people. We have some. Don't get me wrong. We do have some. But all of them are not speaking for us. They are not. They are not. And we need, those that will, those that are continue to fight for us. In Dade County, we are, we're becoming almost a minority because the Hispanics are just, hey, they're if you look downtown at our own personal district, look how many Hispanics have these positions downtown now.
Yeah.
If you look,
me, I'm gonna tell you what it is for me. The high rises and stuff in a downtown area, that don't bother me. I'm talking about when I look at predominantly what was once predominantly Black communities. We were promised affordable housing, and you put a bunch of overpriced high rises in those areas and push the people out and take eminent domain of property that's been owned from generations of folks. When you have that happening, that's what I have the issue with. Downtown could look like whatever. I don't care, but I'm talking about the Black. I'm particularly concerned about the Black
Overtown has taken over. I mean, downtown has taken over Overtown. Wynwood was Overtown. This was Overtown.
Yeah.
8th Street, where the Heat played, those areas. That was a lot of that cross Biscayne. We didn't go cross Biscayne Boulevard, but right on the other side of Biscayne Boulevard is Overtown. So this is what I'm saying. If you even go in Liberty City on 15th Avenue, York City, they're putting high rises where the Scott projects, where the Poker Bean projects, they are placing these homes that's unaffordable, that people that give up their place, and then when they try to come back, they can't come back because they can't afford it any longer.
And that's why the commissioner meetings are so important, because those kind of decisions are made at the commissioner meeting. Remember, those people who are building in these areas have to get the permission and the consent and the vote. The
From the
vote
commissioners. But
to,
if the commissioners are getting a back pay for their vote,
of course.
that's all I'm saying.
Of course, yeah. You haven't said anything wrong. You're absolutely right. You're right on target. But what I'm saying is that now is the time for us to mobilize and assemble ourselves to push back collectively. Because one or two people going to the meeting to represent the masses, that's not enough anymore. And I find it to be disrespectful that they hold these meetings at a time where the majority can't be there. I'm sure that's done deliberately and on purpose, because most of your city commissioners have regular 9 to 5 jobs or some other stream of revenue where they're getting money. So the city commission is not their only job. You understand what I'm saying?
Right. But
That's
that's
not their
true.
only job. For some, not all, but for some of them, that's not their only job. So if you know the masses can't be there to really give you our input on what's happening in the communities where we reside, then why are you having 10, 11 o'clock morning meetings? And then those who are able to come, they're really only to come to speak about one particular issue
Right.
that is so out of control now that they had to decide to speak on that issue rather than being a part of the conversation in totality.
How do you
That's
get the
what's happening.
masses out there? Now, you're right. How do you get the masses to a county commissioner meeting or Miami Gardens, whatever meeting with?
Well, I'm glad you said that, because I'm gonna give you an example. When they were talking about, when it was rumored that a well-known elementary school in West Perrine was going to close, that particular meeting where the regional superintendent held the meeting to discuss the future of the school, was packed wall to wall. Okay. Um, Another issue was when they had the West Perrine reunion, right? And someone was shooting down the street from where the actual reunion was happening on the major park. That month's that May community meeting was packed wall to wall, right? And then the next month, which was June, this month, the meeting didn't have as many people as it did the month before. So people come out for what they want to come out for, and that's what I'm talking about. So I think our first um to-do list, the first thing that should be on the to-do list is to let the people know what they need to be upset about. Because if they don't know what they need to be upset about, then they don't know or have a motive to come out. You understand? So the two examples that I gave you, when the school was closing, it's a school near there, everybody hard in the community, many people attended there during their educational journey, and it's a staple in the community. So people came out for that. With this West Perrine reunion, they didn't want the creators of the event or the organizers of the event to be held liable for something that happened down the street, even though you had the law officers and law enforcement saying if you wasn't having the reunion, that wouldn't have happened. That's not true either. Because if people, it was so many police out there, but still you had these young folks who decided to shoot and carry on anyway, knowing the police was in the vicinity. So they don't care. So, the question is, how do we move forward and do things when you have a fraction of the people that don't respect authority, don't respect law enforcement, don't respect lives? Because if you respect lives, you're not going to be in a public setting shooting at your adversary. That's just barbaric behavior. So I use those examples to say the people need to know what they need to be upset about. And once they know what they need to be upset about, then we organize getting them to the commission meeting and following their rules of how to be able to speak to certain topics.
Correct.
That's what we have to do. That's what we have to do. And that's going to take more than just a few people. That has to be everybody talking about the same thing. That means we have to flood the media outlets, whichever ones you want, social media platforms, news, radio, whatever. Those who still read online newspapers and publications, we have to put the word out there in a massive way to get.
But you know what?
I
agree with you that people need to know what they need to be upset about, because a lot of people don't even know that. They don't know what they need to be upset about. If we for teachers and teachers pay, if we have people in our profession that do not want to be a part of the union, that fight for their pay, fight for their rights, fight every single day to
Yeah.
make it better for them. And they still, there is no reason when you said that, it's just because it ticks me off to know that our union and our president and our leadership, our executive board, people that are fighting to educate, fighting to get people engaged, to understand that you need to be a part of this effort, because if it had not been for your union, your pay would not be what it is. If
Right.
it wasn't for your union, the rights that you have, that book that you have as a contract would be a two-page,
It'd be a memo.
yeah, a
Yeah,
two-page
memorandum. Memorandum.
double space piece of paper memorandum that states your 10 bills of rights as a teacher. And just to get people to understand that, they don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it. They just have turned off.
I'm glad you said that, Dr. Joy, because with all this fighting we've been doing, we have not, in my opinion, really highlighted the fact that the union, United Teachers Today, turned 50 this year. So
Yeah,
we've been at this work for 50 years. Okay. Secondly, I told my faculty this at our last faculty meeting of the school year. I am beyond repulsed with the apathy. My question to them was, how many people have car insurance? So of course, everybody raised their hand, right?
yeah,
My next question was, how many people part of the union raised your hand? So then half the hands went up. So then my statement after that was, I, as a union steward, is not going to sit back and participate in your apathy. What does that mean? That means that, unfortunately, even though we go to collective bargaining and we bargain for everybody that is an employee under the certain categories. When I say certain categories, I'm talking about instructional, I'm talking about security, I'm talking about clerical, I'm talking
yeah,
about paras. All the people that we represent within the bargaining union. When we go to negotiate in collective bargaining, we have to think about everybody, whether they're paid union members or not. But as a steward, I don't have to keep you abreast of what's going on, because you haven't paid
that's
to
right.
get that
For the
information.
knowledge, that's right.
You haven't bought into what we're doing. You're like a leech or a
That's
squatter. You have too many in this profession who are squatters. So if they don't have access to the information anymore, if they're not in the know anymore, then perhaps that will help them or give them a little bit of incentive to go ahead and join us and be part of the solution, instead of sitting on the sidelines, identifying and putting a spotlight on our problems, because we don't need that anymore. And I always like to use the example of your firefighters, your police, even the longshoremen. Them people are 100% union. And most of the time they get what they want, because the employer understands without them, we're not going to have no business. And let me tell you something. We know that the history of UTD is the union was formed because of the big walkout. I wasn't born yet, but
I was.
the big strike or whatever that,
Yes.
and that's how we end up forming the union, right? Can you imagine in 2024 if nobody just didn't show up to work? The chaos, the chaos that would ensue if nobody just didn't show up. How it is it's disrespectful to expect people to continue to show up to their own oppression. It's disrespectful to continue to um bully people into participating in their own demise. And that's exactly what's going on in public education. You have a governor who's writing these laws that are his overall objective to make Florida a state where public education becomes privatized. That's the overall objective, right? So,
Yep.
in making sure to achieve that objective, how do you do that? You continue to defund
Public
traditional public
education. Yeah.
education. You
Yeah.
continue to cipher off the revenue that keeps public schools going
Okay.
and
Yeah.
putting it in other places and making those entities stronger. You also do ridiculous things like have people who are not certified or not meeting state standards that the rest of us do be the people that are employed in these private and charter schools. So it's like creating the perfect storm, if you will, because the bulk of the workforce is young enough and educated enough to go do something else another 15, 20 years in
That's true.
another profession and make more money. And
That's true.
unfortunately, that's what's happening in my own work site. I teach at a high school. So you have your four core subjects: language arts, math, science, social studies, or social studies. We're gonna call it social studies because it's very broad. It's various
Civic.
type history courses, right? Okay. In my own building, there we are losing two people from each core subject. So when we start next school year, we're gonna start minus two people. Two, when I say two people, two instructional employees from every core subject area. I want
Not
you to let
good.
that resonate. So we're bleeding out with the teachers, and we're bleeding out with the students because their parents are believing the hype of what charter and private schools can do that they feel like public schools are not doing. And then those who remain in public schools as your instructional staff, who's supposed to facilitate education to the students, were then bullied and berated by the parents who are questioning those of us who went to school for years, have degrees, and know what we're doing by parents who may not even have a high school diploma.
Correct.
It's the perfect storm. And then you wonder why all these nuances and things that are happening are not being properly addressed. Why would we properly address it? We want it to bottom out so we can do what we want to do.
You know,
And I keep telling everybody, Project 25. If you don't know anything about Project 25, you need to go Google it
yeah,
because then you'll be able to see how it's happening in all Republican ran states.
correct, correct,
So
correct.
even if we don't get, even if they don't get their orange leader um back to Washington D.C. for January 2025, they're going to have people strategically around the country still executing what's in Project 2025. So that's why your local and your state elections are just as important as the national elections.
Yes,
Because
yes.
if you have Satan's imps all positioned in the right places to continue to bring forth the plan that we know is meant to take us back hundreds of years
Just you
and eradicate all the work that's been done to bring equity to marginalized voices, we screwed.
look at our person. Look at Dade County School Board. Who's on Dade County? How many DeSantis appointees that's on that school board
Three,
are
three.
under his thumb?
Well,
Um,
we know of three because those are people that were appointed, and then you have those who are hiding in the shadows.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So okay, so that's one entity is the school board. Okay, we got to do something about the school board. Okay, as far as and what you're saying is absolutely true. What they want to do is eradicate public education so that they can have the curriculum that they want. Now, I don't know if you've seen this new entity that I believe 7 states have already placed in their school curriculum that's talking about our history. And it's not just our history, but it's others. Part of what they're saying, and they have it in like a cartoon form, and it says that um, slaves would have rather been a slave than die. That they embraced being a slave because they preferred to do that than to die.
We know
They have,
that's not true because look how many slaves committed suicide before they reached the land.
but this is what they want to place in schools, in elementary, starting elementary schools, to get them indoctrinated of a lie, to make people believe, and not just white folk, but us. They want us, they want our children to believe that slavery was okay, that black folk benefited from being a slave. This is what they want to teach. They do not want our children. They do not want people to know the truth. So they are putting these other entities into school systems. And 7 states have already implemented this as I speak tonight. It's already there. They're already teaching this, and they're going to teach this in their public school system. These are the things that we as a people have to fight against. It's no longer whether or not we're a red state or a blue state. It's time to be a true state. It's time for us to stand up and
I
tell
like that. Be a true state. I got
to tell the truth. And they would rather, the Bible says that people will rather believe a lie than to believe the truth. It also says, are you my enemy? Because I tell you the truth. Folk, that they don't want to hear the truth, because the truth will bring out freedom for people. Right now, as you said something that resonated so profoundly with me, that every day when we go to work, we are going to a state of, to me, of uh, being almost enslaved, or due to the fact that the pennies that they give us, it equals out to what they gave slaves. And we work our hearts. We give our hearts to our students. We give our mind, our strength, our substance to our students. And yet and still, they give us nothing, pennies in return for what we do. They don't even tell us thank you. They criticize. They criticize
yes.
us.
Let's talk about how there was a school board meeting in the month of May and they didn't recognize Teacher Appreciation Week. But you're the school board. You are the board that governs the whole school system, third largest school district in the whole country, and you don't even take the time to acknowledge that Teacher Appreciation Week happened in that month. It's that kind of stuff.
That's all I'm saying. We got to do something. We have to. We're gonna have to. We gonna have to. Oh my gosh, we're gonna have to mobilize. We're gonna have to come together. We're gonna have to organize, mobilize, knock on doors, pass out paper,
And
whatever.
to the educators who are always talking about they don't want to deal with, they don't want politics involved in what we do. That's ridiculous because it's the politicians that make the decisions about how we do this job, from how we're being paid, how we get paid, to the curriculum that we teach. All that is affected or influenced by politics. So if you're not taking a stand, or if you're not participating in the political process, you've already shot yourself in the foot. Remember when Eddie Murphy shot Della Reese in his pinky toe? Same thing. Same thing. And
Was
every
it Harlem
time
Night? That was Harlem Night.
yeah, Harlem Nights, every time we fail to vote, every time we make the ignorant statement, and in the politics, in the education, we're like Della Reese, she said, go ahead, shoot it, shoot the pinky toe, and he did. And
Yes, he did.
DeSantis is quick, and we are Della Reese. The whole workforce is Della Reese, and Ron DeSantis and his cronies are Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
We got to do better. We have to. We have to cry loud and spare not. It's time to spare. We can't spare feelings. We cannot. We have to tell the truth. The people must vote, and stop voting against yourself. Stop. Stop it. Just stop it. We've been voting against ourselves for too long. You're going to have to vote for your rights. And it's not, I'm telling you, people are coming in here and they are moving folk out. And if we don't band together, organize, mobilize, get this job done, we're going to still be in the same little spot 10 years from now, or worse. It's going to be worse, because if
Well,
we don't do
hopefully,
something
hopefully
today,
people get the wake up call and they won't get it too late. That's what's most important. That that we get the wake up call and they don't get it too late, because I mean this, my news alert. I don't know if you have it on your phone, where when certain things
yeah,
happening
I
in the
have it.
news and
Yeah,
media, It alerts
Yeah.
your phone. My phone
Yeah.
buzz and beep and
Yeah.
gyrate and jiggle all day,
Yep.
all
Yep.
day, because
Yep.
that too is a mechanism of control and a way to defeat your opponent, because they can't never put out the one fire if they have 10 fires to put out all simultaneously. So don't think for 1 minute that the way things are happening right now is by coincidence. It's not coincidence. It's
No.
perfectly calculated and perfectly and being
Strategic.
executed perfectly, to be honest with you.
Yep. It's strategically planned. It's strategically done.
There you go. Strategically planned. Yes, ma'am.
And if we don't understand that, and if we don't see that, shame on us. It's just shame on us. I feel that I have to do more. It starts with me. It starts with me. And it starts with me educating everyone there that's around me, everyone that's in my circle, my family, my church family. And I know they say that, religion and politics shouldn't mix, but God knows, I have to tell my people in my congregation the truth, that what's happening around us is going to affect not just you, but it's going
I'm
to
glad.
affect your generational, your legacy is
I'm
going to
glad you
affect.
brought up the church, because that's one of the questions I like to end with for tonight. Because I'm sure the pastor gonna peekaboo, the elder gonna peekaboo back in here in a minute and try to
Where is he? What
shut us
happened
down.
to him? Elder, the right
Child, he
reverend,
somewhere
where
having
are you?
watermelon. It's Juneteenth. He having
Where
his
did
water
he go?
before he come in here and try to shut us down.
Oh,
Where's
he
the
come.
church? And I'm saying that, and I know you as a pastor and having your own congregation, you speak to these issues because you're knowledgeable. But I'm gonna give you an example. At the height of the civil rights movement, the church was the backbone to the movement. I'm not seeing that same camaraderie that happened in the past happen currently. I don't see our churches, our clergy people, our ministers, our preachers, our prophets, or whoever. I don't hear none of these people speaking loudly
Can
about
I tell you
what's happening.
something? Can I tell you something?
Please
TB,
tell me, because I need to know.
there are a lot of pastors, a lot of us of color are are Republican more than you want to think.
Well,
We
that
we had, and because of that, if you have the right program in your ministry, you are getting money from some of these people.
so
Some,
basically the church, to some aspect, the church has been bought and sold. That's why
yes,
they say you got to know God for yourself, because you waiting on man to tell you about God, well, you're gonna be waiting a while.
some of our black leaders are Republican, and some of our pastors are receiving and getting, whatever monies they need for whatever programs that they are running in their church. So if you are getting money from whatever, how do you think you're gonna vote? Are you gonna vote against not continuing to keep that program going in
No,
your congregation? Come on,
no, you gonna stay
come on,
quiet, get that money, and do whatever it is that you set out to do. That's
come on,
exactly.
baby.
I mean, I thank you for being honest about that, because I've been asking this question for 2 years now. Because I'm looking around like we are right back to where my mother, my grandmother, and some of these battles that were fought before I was conceived, we're back to fighting those same battles again. I'm like, wait a minute, what's missing? What was here before that made us victorious as the missing element now? And it's the church.
It's the church,
Yeah.
because TB, the church was the place where the civil rights leaders met. This is where they strategized. This is where they came up with the plan in the church. But the church is not doing that anymore. The church is, if the church is getting funds from the area that we are saying is treating us so wrong, and if you are getting kickback from whomever, when you have black pastors that's for Trump, that's a problem. And it's not just in South Carolina. It's just not in North Carolina. It's right here in Dade County that you have black pastors that's voting for Donald Trump. And that is a problem.
That's a
Because
big
if
problem.
we as a people don't stand together, and if our black leaders are voting against us, who do we turn to? Where do we turn? Where do we
Right.
go? Where?
And
When the
I want,
church was
I would love for
the face.
I would love for the parishioners of these churches that are silent about what's happening to ask their leaders a direct question. Where does this church stand on these issues?
They're
And
not,
wherever they
they don't.
stand,
They don't.
the
They
parishioners
don't.
aren't asking the questions. Cause listen, I'm not, and even though Elder always say I'm a prophetess and all that, I'm none. I'm a simple parishioner that go to
Or you
church.
the evangelist.
I'm not that either. I'm not that either. Here he come. Look at
Oh,
him. There
he's
you go.
back.
There you go.
Hey.
Oh,
Listen,
I had to come in on
I'm
this
not
one
gonna
because
belabor. Listen,
no,
sir, I'm
I
not
had
gonna
to
It's
come
the
in
belabor it
on this
truth.
one
long.
because
Elder, it's the
I,
truth. I don't
I
care. It's the truth.
no. You saw what I typed in. Y'all didn't see my
I saw it.
comment?
I
I
saw it.
saw it.
He
I
agreed
saw
with
it.
us.
Yeah,
He on
yeah.
our side.
A
But no,
lot
I'm
of them
serious
can't.
because
A lot
the
of them can't
parishioners.
speak out because they're tied up and they are Republicans. It's a
Okay,
lot of them.
let me
That's
ask you
why
something.
y'all wonder why a lot of stuff that's going on in this presidential stuff. Certain folks, y'all know. Do you see them in front of that camera? But
No,
Absolutely not.
no.
let something happen in the street. You don't see them in front of no camera or doing any protests or doing any marches or doing anything until something happens. Then they'll be the first one in front of the camera, like they involved. And
But
some of
there,
them want to be the Miami pastor, community pastor, and they ain't saying nothing about what's going on now. Come on now, y'all help me
but
with that. I
in
had to
the
come in
street,
on this
My
because
my
y'all
question
went
is
down the
this.
street.
My question is this, because I know how church business works. If the parishioners don't pay their tithe or offering, there gonna be some dark churches. It's gonna be some people without. So if the people, the parishioners, are the ones who finance the church, they have a
correct.
right to say and a right to ask and a right to apply that pressure on their leadership within their churches
But
to
the
do
thing is,
something.
TB,
They have the right.
they don't do it. Whatever. They don't. They don't say anything. The only pastor, well, I'm not gonna say only pastor. I know Bishop Victor T. Curry used to be that voice. He used to be that face. And I remember this, and Elder Brown, you can correct me. I remember when Bishop was running for mayor. He was running for office. And he was leading. He was leading the count. And he just knew he had won. In one of these precincts, the power went out. When the power came back on,
He had
he,
lost.
that's all I'm saying. He was a voice for the people. And from that time, he have not run again because he said he wasn't doing it no more. He
because
didn't run anymore.
Look at the
because
man,
you
the
you
police
couldn't
officer.
polish you
Listen, the
couldn't
police officer
you
Freddie
couldn't pay
Ramirez.
him off. You
Look
Say
got
at Freddie.
some that's going to get paid. That they're going to and
right,
what they do is they get the money and they call themselves it's like a granted program. No, it's not a grant program. They are lining your pockets because you agreed to make sure that you help them
right,
get votes.
right,
And see
right,
what
right.
Bishop was you weren't gonna line his
You couldn't
pockets where
pay
you
him.
control him. You were not gonna pay him.
No,
Where
right,
now later on you get to control him on what, and now you have to try and get voters and turn voters to vote for folk that you know ain't right. And there's a lot of pastors.
Well,
and
And,
he
and,
listen,
I,
knows
and I've
it's like
said
a
it
sheriff
before.
race.
A
It's a
lot of
sheriff
them that
race.
you'll be surprised of
you
that
will
are
be shocked.
Republicans.
You
They
will
are
be shocked.
undercover Republicans,
Yeah.
and you if and if you pay attention, how many other than my pastor is speaking out against it?
You would be shocked of the
They
people
quiet.
that are black pastors that are Republican, that are in a lot that voted. I'm not just saying a Republican, but voted for Donald Trump.
Yeah,
Voted.
and I,
Voted.
and I'm not one who get locked in on parties. Really not. I'm locked in on who's doing right by the people.
Right.
That's
So
what
if
I
you got a
said.
Democrat that's
Right.
not doing right by the people, and you may have a Republican that's doing right by all
The
the
people,
people,
then
now
you
you
vote
might
for
get
that.
my attention.
Right. You vote for that. But
Yeah.
you
Right.
want
But
somebody, you're
but
gonna vote
but
for that's
but you
doing
got
the right thing.
right. You got some folks that you still stand true to someone that got 35, 34 counts and doing the things and threaten to go at people. Now,
Listen,
where is your compassion and your standard as a Christian to follow that?
listen. I want y'all to think about the sheriff race. Freddie Ramirez, remember the police officer who they said tried to take his own life?
Right. Yeah.
He was a Republican who became a Democrat. And he had the respect and the votes of black communities, especially down south. Suddenly, this man had an argument with his wife and tried to
Yep.
take his life.
Yeah.
I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I'm also not a fool. Now I'm gonna let y'all put whatever you think you want to put on that. I'm gonna let that marinate. But this man went from being a Republican person to a Democratic candidate for sheriff and had those who are considered the minority, those who are considered marginalized, those who are considered voiceless to some degree, but he had the majority of those people supporting him. And then this incident happened at a police convention.
Wow.
Right. Right. Well,
Okay, I just want you to think about that because that doesn't
yeah, yeah. It don't
yeah.
sit well. It don't
It
make
don't sit
sense.
well. It
I
don't,
just
it
thought
don't
yeah.
sit well. We don't even
I
talk
would,
about it no more. But I need people to really understand what's happening. That if you don't vote, you got to be Reese that pinky toe. It's gonna be gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
You lose that pinky toe.
But we need to really go back to something you said and have our religious leaders accountable and directing the congregants in a direction of what's going to be best for them, not what's going to be lining up because every pastor that's getting money from the state or from the government, somewhere along the line, all of the money does not go to the program. Some of that money is going to them.
Of
And
course,
and be put your hand down because you know I'm telling the truth.
no,
that's big business.
I, I
I
put
know
I put
business.
my hand up because that's the number 5. How many
But
months we have? What we have until November? We have 5 months, y'all.
Okay.
5 months.
and
It's
and
around
and,
the
Listen,
and
corner.
sold to the polls does not count as a
No,
mobilization of
no,
people.
no,
By
no,
the
no,
time
no,
it's trying to drive
no,
people over there, it's
no,
too late.
no.
that's
These
right.
conversations need to be happening now. Some
That's
political
right.
forums need to be happening now. I don't
Correct.
know. I mean, we're out of COVID now, but and those 2 years we're in COVID, we did things a little differently. But I recall when people running for office showed up to your churches.
Yes, they do show up in some churches.
Well,
Okay,
it's
so if
too.
they're still
It's a little
doing
too.
that, and they're allowed to come in and speak, but the pastor has not educated his or her congregation on the issues, that is dumb.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know
That
what?
is dumb.
I spoke at a situation one time concerning some of the bills that were out there, and some of the pastors were not aware of these bills that were being passed. Come to find out, some days later, because they continued to question me on some of these bills, and they said, "Well, I didn't know that. What? Say that again. What you said about that one?" Come to find out later that a lot of these pastors that were asking the most questions were Republican pastors
Of course.
that I
Plain
didn't.
crazy. Like they ain't know what's going
So,
on.
so what I want the people to truly grasp is to have your leader accountable. Because if we are going to be, we are accountable as a leader, as a pastor, as a teacher, TB, you are accountable to what you are giving your students.
Yes.
As a leader, a spiritual pastor, I am accountable for what I give my congregation. I'm going to be held accountable for that. And if I don't tell people the truth, I will be held accountable. And we as spiritual leaders know that all of this wrong is going on, and we don't say anything, and we don't let people know. So if you're a pastor, you have a right to ask your leader questions. The same way I tell my students, I get paid every 2 weeks to answer your question. And as you said, if I give my time and my offering to my church, then I have a right to answer your question.
Yes.
I have a right. I should do that. I should do that. And don't say that, that we don't mix politics in the church. Politics are always in the church. Hey, yeah. Jesus, do you know Jesus? He was a priest. He was a prophet. Come on.
Yeah, all of it. We got to cover it all. And not just, if you have someone that's over your political ministry or whatever, you need to go to them and find out. This stuff should be up front, in the forefront every Sunday. That's just how I feel about it. I think we should be having a conversation. We at my church we still do the black. Yeah, we still do the black. You know,
together, they need to be talking about it.
Yeah, the Black History moment, whatever. But we do at my church, we do engage about what's coming forth. But I think that should be every Sunday now, and teaching our young people. I'm still on that, teaching those high school students, and a lot of those seniors who just graduated. Some of them. It's a school at Northeast up in Broward. They teachers were awarded for overwhelmingly number of students that they registered to vote.
Oh wow!
Yeah. It was over. I forgot the numbers, what it was, but it was a large number of students that they got to register to vote. Remember, I was talking about that we need to target those seniors that are turning 18 and get them registered to vote, and they got honored for it. But just imagine if Northeast and a whole lot of other schools was out there doing this, and they not just got them to register to vote, they actually, and I know the young lady who was over it because we were together before at Collins Middle School in Dania Beach. And she did a lecture. She educated them about the process and why it's so important to vote.
Well, this is where we are right now. This is where we are. This is what we should be doing. We just cannot wait for one entity to do it. We're gonna have to say that we're gonna have to have the same voice. The same voice. There's no division in this. We have to have one voice. And if everybody is saying the same thing, that one voice should resonate among the people. So. Right, Reverend, you didn't cut us off. It's almost 9:15, and we still.
He got me missing. I done missed the first 15 minutes of girlfriends. Boy, bye.
You got what you call them. You can play it back.
I like to watch it in real time.
You can play it back.
That is my Wednesday.
You don't. Well, okay. Once you play it back, that's your real time when you play it back.
Well, if somebody would have came on at 8:00, I probably could have missed only the first 5 minutes instead of the first 15. But we're not gonna.
No, he was with his other show.
We really gonna do that, right?
Yeah.
We really
gonna do that. He was with his other people.
We really gonna do that, right? We really gonna.
Yeah, we gonna do that because he's with his other people.
And that's another thing. When I was out, you ain't tell the people why I wasn't here. You got the people thinking I'm just not showing up and whatnot. I went to my goddaughter's graduation. Shout out to all the graduates. You have Keith Holmes. You have Emmanuel Strong. You have my goddaughter Tiana Michael. You have the elder granddaughter who graduated this year. All these kids that graduated this year. I went to some graduations and celebratory events.
And Keith Holmes got the award for perfect attendance from
Yes, he
kindergarten all
did.
the way to high
Yes, he
school.
did.
Come on,
Yes.
who can do that?
Yeah.
Shout out to Cassandra Holmes. Shout
That's
out
right.
Mother of the Year. That's
all right.
right. That's right.
And if y'all
Our
think
sister.
2024 was something, my baby and my godson and I got another nephew, they all coming out 2025. You think 2024 was something, hang on to your hat.
All right.
2025 about to be off the chain too.
Well, my granddaughter, she graduated this year. So
I'm missing your granddaughter. I said that. You were so busy having some watermelon. You didn't hear me.
Yeah. Whatever, man.
But when I'm
Whatever.
out here telling people why I'm
No,
out
I
here,
do tell them that you're out. I just tell them I can't list all.
I saw the rebroadcast. You ain't say nothing about me.
I can't list all your accolades, okay? You got so many. You know what I'm saying? You and Cassandra Holmes, I don't know. Y'all running neck to neck because both of y'all have so much going on. The only thing I would say, I say that she's out being productive.
Yeah, I do be out being productive. Yes.
Out being productive. And I think that covers it all.
Yeah.
You know how long it'll take me to list everything that you be doing?
I didn't ask you. He's trying to be funny now. I'm not telling you to list everything that I be doing, but that one day, if I'm not here, tell people where I'm at.
I say she's out being productive.
I don't know, but I give a shout out to Cass because she really
did that.
Yeah, she did
that. And Keith asked, I told her today, I said Keith had so many cords around his neck until it was just crazy. So
she did it.
Anyway,
she really handled him, and he really walked down the path. And I just hope he continue to walk down that path to positive. And he will. He will.
Yeah.
He's a good kid.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Yes,
no,
he is.
I heard y'all talking about the flood and why they all this stuff and why because they just want to keep getting taxpayers' money. I'm tired of them paying because I'm tired of them paying up roads. Every time you see they talking about they redoing the drains. They redoing the drains. They do redoing the drainage. They redoing the drainage. And y'all know, y'all see it in y'all neighborhood. They tear your streets up, and then it's still the same thing.
Listen, it's no different than the church and the building fund, and now the donut went up on the church yet.
The
government working like the church. The building fund. It's the building fund. They know what they doing. The building fund.
They know what they doing.
On the road, the way the church gonna put some new doorknobs on the sanctuary.
Listen, when I left work at 3:10 that day, Wednesday. I didn't get home till 10 o'clock.
Oh, we talked about how you had to swim home that day. We talked about that.
Every road, every street to my house was flooded.
Oh wow.
10 o'clock.
Wow.
You had to
walk home? How'd you get home? You walked home or you?
No, I finally found a route to get home that wasn't no flooding, but I had to wait. I even went into Flanagan, sat down and ate. I just went and parked my car in Flanagan's and just sat there I was there for like 2 hours. Wow. Just at Flanagan's. Wow. Then I went outside and watched the special people act special out on the street. I just don't understand people. You're in the turning lane. You're in the turning lane. You're south. You're going south, but you're in the left turn. You're in the turning lane, right? But the street that you're going to turn on, the traffic is all the way out in the street. So why are you still going to turn left?
People drive the worst. People drive the worst in this bad weather. You want to see some bad driving at the time when I'm out there
waving at them because the traffic's not going to move because that whole street was flooded. That whole road was flooded down Hallandale Beach Boulevard. So I'm trying to tell them, no, you can't go that route. You might well turn around. And you still going to make the left turn. And now you stuck out there. Because it's about 20 cars that stalled out on Hallandale Beach Boulevard going east. And you see the traffic out in the street now. So where you turning to?
Where you going?
I'm like, wow, really? So I stood out there for a minute just watching the crazies be crazy. And I eventually finally got home. 10 o'clock.
Well, I'm glad you made it safe.
I'm glad you made it safe. I was praying for you the whole time.
I'm traumatized now.
Yeah.
I'm traumatized now. So any heavy rain, from now on, y'all, I ain't going out.
You should go to the people and claim PTSD. Yeah, whatever the acronym is. Figure out what the acronym is first, and then go claim that that's what you have. Get you
Listen,
some
I'm
money.
traumatized.
And you know what? I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna let y'all go. I don't feel like I'm being supported here. I asked y'all to touch and agree about these food stamps. It is the second or the
Please,
third
you're
of
not getting
There
food
you
stamps.
go.
I
There
ain't
you
You
got
work
go
at
food
Southern
again.
School?
stamps.
Are you working
I'm
Southern
not
School?
working this summer.
There
I done
you
turned in
go
my
again.
You're not
resume to every
working?
place but the Pink Pony. And hey, I done turned in my resume
Did she
and
just
my
say?
teacher
Did she just
She
say
certificate
the
said the
pink
to
pink. She
pony?
said
all
pink
of the
pony.
reputable
Did she
You
just
are
say the
not
pink
institutions.
pony?
getting food stamps. Forget it.
You're
Okay,
not
so
getting
when
it.
y'all see me on the Pink Pony display, don't be acting like you gonna not claim me.
All
No,
right,
I
my
will
dear.
not.
I told y'all to touch and
All
agree
right,
about
my
these
dear.
food
Get
stamps.
on that pole, my dear.
My daughter 5'7". She little, but she eat a lot. She 5'7" in height, and she just listen. I, it's a hard time out here. Now imagine people who got 2 and 3 kids, big like that, tall. They go another one walking in the house. She an adult, but she eat a lot too. The people that eat a lot around here. I need food stamps, and y'all are supposed to be ladies and gentlemen of the Lord.
It ain't happening.
Y'all represent the Lord,
It's
and
not
y'all
You
done
are
touch
happening.
and
not
agree on my
getting
It's
behalf. They
not
food
can write a
happening,
stamps.
boo.
holy water
It's not
on
happening.
my
Uh,
forehead.
I'll
It's like
pray for
y'all have
you.
abandoned me.
I'll pray
no.
for you. The prayers of
The
the
purple.
righteous gonna push you through.
That's
The
it.
Right,
prayers of
the prayers of the righteous. So
the
let's get
prayers of the
righteous and get these
righteous.
prayers
Listen,
going. What is
listen.
going
The
on?
prayers of the righteous gonna get you through, but it ain't gonna get you food stamps.
No, the purple church down there. I'm sure they have a pantry down there somewhere. You can go and get some food.
Listen, upstate New York, my best friend, shout out my best friend who live in upstate New York. I got two. One live here and one live upstate. She sent me a video. Oh, the food is so nice. It still had the price tags on it. It's not 1 or 2 apples in the boxes rolling around. They give them quality food in upstate New York when you go in the food lines and whatnot like that. She had 2 big old chickens that was bagged up.
Oh
And then
my
looked like they
God.
went and cut the chicken in half and gave her half a chicken. No, she had actual whole thing like she would have bought it from the grocery store. It was so nice. I was jealous. I was jealous. Because if you go to a food drive around here lately, they give you 2 potatoes, a half a chicken, they give you onion, they give you 4 canned goods that don't make sense. You can't even make a meal out of it. It's deplorable.
You
And
special.
you trying to send me there.
You special.
And you trying to send me there.
You are not. You are not going. It's not gonna happen, sweetie.
Listen, 10 months out the year, we eat and drink well around here. We have Capri Suns, we have alkaline water. Now it's the summer, and I'm coming home with Kool-Aid jammers. The kids
Yeah,
looking at me crazy. They're
yeah,
like, what is this?
yeah, yeah. You know what? As long as your house is paid, your house is paid, your car paid, you good. Somebody gonna feed you.
The
God
Lord
gonna
will make a way somehow.
Yeah.
somehow. Somehow he gonna
Y'all
make
just keep me uplifting in prayer. I'm seriously
We
trying to get
got
a job
you. We
this
got you
summer.
covered. We got
My
you covered
daughter
in
gonna be a
prayer.
senior. Do you even know what that means? I gotta pay for all the
money.
senior
It
stuff.
means
Oh
money.
yeah,
Yeah, it
trust
means
me.
money. This ain't the
Trust
summer
me.
for me to take off. Maybe 2
Listen,
summers ago. This
listen.
ain't the summer.
Do y'all remember paying all that money when we graduated from high school?
No,
Yes and no.
I,
Yes and
I
no.
didn't.
Yes and
no,
no.
I
I
Because
didn't.
didn't.
they
I
I
have the same
didn't.
didn't.
events. The events haven't changed. You have
I mean, I went
grad
to
night
grad
with
night.
grad
I went to
bash.
grad night, but grad
You
night
have
was not.
prom.
Grad
You
night was
have
not five hundred
the senior
dollars.
pictures. I mean, they're not doing anything really different.
Grad
It's
No,
just
night
no,
that
is
the
five
no,
cost.
hundred
no.
dollars.
No, I'm
Listen,
not saying. No, I'm joking. It wasn't five,
Oh,
but it's all. It was close. Grad
it's just
bash
now.
was
It just
expensive.
costs more.
Yeah,
It just costs more.
it
So
costs
a
a
picture
whole
packet
lot
now. A picture packet now, like a really nice one, which means all the different sizes and the different change of clothes and all that. That's gonna run you $1,000 easily.
because they're packing my granddaughter's packet for the prom, grad bash, all the stuff she need for graduation. It was almost $600.
that's it.
You said
Well, he
that's
talking
it.
about the cost of going. You mean like the ticket to go to grad bash,
The
the
grad
ticket to
bash, all
go
that together.
to
Grad bash,
prom,
prom, all her graduation
senior
stuff.
breakfast, senior picnic.
Almost, yeah,
Yeah,
$600, seven
the
hundred dollars.
ticket price of those things are expensive too. So you talking about buying a ticket to all those events? You haven't gotten your hair done yet. If you have a
That
little
part,
girl, you ain't got a hair
that
done yet.
part,
Nails. You haven't
the
put the
dress,
dress yet.
the
Now that's a different
shoes,
Outfit.
story.
the shoes. So you talking about close to about $3,000 or more?
No, some of those dresses cost $10,000. Just
I
Okay,
was,
for
I was
hold on,
coughing.
wait.
I was coughing on some
Tanika
of that.
not buying nobody a $10,000
I'm
dress
telling you,
dress.
unless she's gonna be singing on stage with two other
They
chicks.
did.
Okay?
some folks had $10,000 dresses.
I saw it. I
No,
saw
I'm not talking about the wretched and ridiculous. I'm talking about just regular prom, grad bash, senior picture, senior picnic, regular
Because now,
expenses. I'm not talking
so
about people who went out there trying to recreate Beauty and the Beast. I'm
so
not talking
hey,
about people who had a
you
Lamborghini
saw
and a
that?
llama,
Did you see
walked
that?
them to the prom. I ain't talking about none of that. That's over the top.
How about
That's beyond
I have a friend,
my
I have a
text.
friend, her sister did a theme of Dubai. So she had a live camel
See,
at her house.
I'm not having a live anything. But
Wow.
A
people that
live
are
camel
the
at her house.
humans will be the only
Yes.
living
Did they
things.
ride it?
I don't know if she rode it. She took pictures with it.
I rode on the camel when I went to Israel. I rode on the camel.
Yeah.
In
I don't know
Israel,
if she rode it.
Yeah, I went
it
to
wasn't
Israel.
in
I mean,
Overtown.
I'm
You
sure.
got a camera in Israel, not
Yeah.
in Overtown. You see the point,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
Correct.
So it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. But as I always say, I'll pray for you. You pray for me. And
Amen.
we're gonna watch y'all change things in your life.
2 words.
But you're not
Food
getting food
stamps.
stamps. No, it ain't happening.
Food
So
stamps.
sorry.
Won't
I'm
happen.
Okay, but then pray I get a job then. How about that? Can y'all touch and agree
Okay,
on
we'll
that?
pray that.
Yes.
Put some
We
holy
got
oil on
you
the
in
spirit
prayer.
Yes.
or
It
something.
starts
We'll cover
tomorrow.
you.
Well, I have to be to work tomorrow. Different schools start at different
Ain't
times.
nobody called me yet. I like to be going to work in the morning. To every administrator for Miami-Dade County Public Schools, I got summer school stuff in the car. I packed it up in faith that somebody was gonna hire me this summer.
Well, it's not over with. It just started. So
It
we're gonna
just
touch
started.
and
You got
agree that you get a
Well,
job
listen,
this summer. That you will not need food stamps this summer. Not this
oh,
one.
that I don't have to go to the Pink Pony either because I got options. I'm
Oh,
You know what?
45. I look
You are
good.
not going to no pink pony in the
I
name of
look good.
Jesus. We rebuke
what is
that.
a pink pony? Is that a nightclub?
You know what a pink
Oh,
pony
you so
is.
play. The fact that
I
you don't
know.
know what it
Ain't no
is, don't worry about
nightclub.
it. Tootsies, KLD. Never
Huh?
mind. You don't even know. You
It's,
so
it's that
you
place
been saved so long.
that you swing around the
You
pole.
don't know.
It's a strip club?
You girls gone. Okay.
Good night. Good night,
Y'all been
Dr. Joy.
live. You've been live with the South
Good
Florida
night,
Live
Dr. Joy. Have a good
podcast with my crew, the Power Team,
I'm sorry. I've been locked
Dr.
up too
George
long.
Listen,
Jackson,
I'm not gonna give nobody the
Prophetess
Mercedes
TaNika
experience. I'm
Bennett,
gonna give you the
I
Toyota
know. I'm
Camry
sorry.
experience. Okay,
TaNika,
Toyota Camry.
TaNika Bennett, who's not gonna be at the
Of course,
Pink
I never
Pony.
heard about a pink
We
pony.
gonna pray. We
What's a
gonna
pink
pray that
pony?
spirit. We gonna
Why
pray
you
that
trying to
spirit.
cut me off now? I can't because I don't know what the pink
We
pony
gonna
is.
pray. You know what? We gonna pray for
Listen,
the doctor.
I love you, Dr. Joy. I love you, Dr. Joy. It
Lord, I
reminds
love
me
you.
of 2 years ago, well, 3 years ago now. My auntie was watching the BET Awards and my daughter and my niece. And the WAP song, WAP, came on. So my auntie asked my daughter, what does WAP mean? My daughter looked at my auntie straight face and said, worship and praise. Good night, y'all.
So that's the pink pony.
That was good. That was good. That was good. Hey, y'all. Listen, you've been locked into the Power Team, man. My crew, Dr. Joy Jackson and the prophetess herself, TaNika Bennett, live on the tree. Appreciate you, ladies. Thank you so much. I told you, y'all, they were fulled up. They were overflowing. They trust me, that was just a little bit. They got more. They
And
just
I missed 30
they
minutes.
shut down. Y'all see, I didn't
30
rush them.
minutes.
I ain't rushed them off. I ain't trouble them. But
Wait.
they trust me, they got more.
And you didn't even need a swimsuit on last week to go home, huh? You drove home.
That's what we gonna do right there. We gonna do that to her right there. How about that? We gonna do that to you.
Don't do my sister like that.
We gonna do that.
Don't do
That's
my
what we
sister in
gonna do.
Christ like that. That's not
We
right.
gonna do that. Really?
That's all right.
Really?
Cut
Hey,
me off.
hey, listen. Yeah, but hey, at least I
Cut me
wasn't out there. But at least I wasn't out there trying to wrestle alligators, though.
Oh, you saw my picture?
Yeah.
You out there trying to wrestle alligators.
Yeah, that's the truth. Oh my God.
Y'all in the alligator land, alligator swamp land.
Were you
Alligators is
scared?
up. Huh?
Were you scared when you saw her cross the in front of your car?
No, I got out to take a picture.
She was trying to get us some shoes, a purse. She wanted a purse.
I wasn't touching it.
She was sizing them up. She was sizing that bad boy up. So I'm like, I can see that purse. I'm walking in the church with my purse and my shoes.
With the head on it. With the head on it.
With the head on your purse. What? Man, I watched she got out and took that picture. She out there wrestling alligators.
Y'all funny.
Y'all gotta go. I gotta go. Y'all play too much. All right, y'all. Listen, y'all. God bless you. God keep you.
Bless y'all. God bless everyone.
That's my crew right there, y'all. That's my crew. Hey, y'all been locked into the South Florida podcast with your host, Jeffrey Brown, and my power team, Dr. Joy Jackson and TaNika Bennett. Hey, y'all, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being with us on this evening, all evening long. I appreciate it. As I always say, listen, y'all, I'll pray for you, and y'all pray for me. Listen, y'all, let's watch God change things.
Email your idea for show topics to the South Florida Live Show at gmail.com. Thank you for tuning in to South Florida Live with your host, Jeffrey Brown.